Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Addie, and today we are back renovating this haunted abandoned house that I built a long time ago. It was probably like 3 or 4 years ago now. And don't mind the upstairs right now. You don't we don't need to see that. But this, I really loved the like floor plan of this house. I felt like it had a lot of potential, so I just wanted to kind of update it a little bit, renovate it a little bit, and with it being Halloween when you're seeing this, I felt like that was a good time to post it. So right now we are going through and getting we're deleting everything, and then we are moving the house to the corner of the lot. I end up having a lot of fun with this build. I think that it turned out really cool. And right now I'm just going through debug and pulling out these. I end up discovering that there is um, like falling apart ones. Um, so we end up having that instead of these ones, but for right now we have these full ones. But yeah, I really enjoyed how this build came out. It's very orange and kind of like overgrown farmhouse sort of vibes, which is perfect because that's essentially what it is. But um, there was a lot of debug that went into this. So what we are doing now is getting those pieces, and then I am building that fence. So I think your Sims will honestly just like work like go straight through this fence. I don't think that they can that this like has a footprint or anything. So we end up just having that, and then I discovered these pieces. So there is a part of the fence that is completely gone. Um and I was gonna have that there, like it was, they were gonna repair it and then never did or something, but I decided against that. And then I have this really ugly color combo for the barn and chicken coops. And then in here, we end up not completely repainting, but slightly repainting the side, or like part of some of the brick. And then, yeah, like I said, I think that this really comes out nice. Um, when I'm recording this, actually, Zilla's my dog, if you are not familiar. Zilla is actually getting a bath at the groomers right now, so that's fun. There was a basset hound that was barking and like freaking her out. Zilla has like really bad separation anxiety in combination with just like general anxiety. So she was not very pleased about the basset hound barking. So that was not an ideal scenario, like chance for us to come there when the dog was having a moment. But it is what it is. She smells like cat litter, so she does kind of need a bath. And then Atticus is not used to her not being there, so she like not being here when I'm here. Normally, like it's the other way around, like she's here and I'm not. So he is very cuddly right now. Well, he was really cuddly until I said that. And now I don't know where he went, but it's fine. So we are working on the landscaping. There were a lot of layers to this. So I do end up cutting out some of it. So you will find that there ends up being like a jump in the landscaping. So we have like some, and then we have all of it. Um, and that's just because the landscaping honestly was my favorite part, but we just have so much. Like it is so overgrown and it is so like it doesn't look overgrown right now, but it ends up looking pretty overgrown. We've got a lot of bushes, a lot of like big plants, a lot of flowers, a lot of everything. We end up having a bus stop out the front, which is kind of or out the side, which is kind of a fun touch. I never use that what's it called? That like debug item, is it even classed as an item? Could you say it's an item? I don't know. Anyway, she yeah, so we are working on that and then we will yeah, you'll see that I think I cut out just the flowers because there are a lot of those. And then we catch up when I am placing the like trees and other stuff. But yeah, it's very overgrown, not really usable. Like I think the debug stuff your Sims can access like the chicken coop and stuff, but it doesn't look like you should be able to access it, if that makes sense. And then I also made it so that this house looks like it would be a really popular like place for like teens or like other people to just like break in and stay the night in like this haunted house. I don't know. I actually originally built the like house portion way years and years ago before paranormal. So it was just a normal residential and I don't know if I actually ended up updating that or if it's like just a normal house on the gallery. It is available on the gallery in case that wasn't clear. Um, my gallery ID is just the same that it is here, pretty easy to find. And then I don't think this is the most recent thing that I've built, but especially by the time that you're seeing this, um, but it is fairly recent. It is fairly recent. If you want the like original build, that build was on a 40 by, or maybe it was on a 50 by 50 lot, um, but it was pretty big, pretty big. Now we are back. There was that little jump right there, and we are putting in grass. So with cottage living, which is the world that this was built in, there are like little grass pieces. So I'm putting those around the lot. We also have some like flowers. Big, it's very round. There was a lot of going around in a circle with the landscaping for this. The terrain paint is something that we'll be doing at the end of the episode. Here is that bus stop. And I'm just going through debug and pulling out like a bunch of random stuff. Like I found these dirt piles. I don't know what those are technically supposed to be for, but I thought they were kind of fun. So we've got those around and then I end up getting this thing. I honestly have no idea what that's called. I am not a farm person. Never have been, never will be. But it looked kind of cool. So I put it in here. And it's for cottage living. So I mean, like it's got to be a farm something. Um, I highly doubt that it would be like reasonable to keep it in the fence. Like that looks like something you would use in a field, but whatever. And then we've got some more shrubs and we're going around putting mushrooms all over the place because why not? So we have those, and then we will be getting some trees around. And I honestly really love how the outside of this turned out. I don't know how much of the inside I actually like fully furnish because the like it's haunted, you know, it's like abandoned. Like people have probably stolen the furniture. So I'm not 100% sure how much is actually still in there, to be completely honest. But right now I am finishing the landscaping because I completely forgot outside of the fence. So we are going through and getting all of the flowers that I put inside the fence because there's no reason why they would be inside and not outside. Um, and then there is going to be, when I start the terrain paint at the end, I will be putting some terrain paint down, but there's going to be like a little path from the gate up there. I imagined that people like jumped the fence and like go inside and they like break inside um to like spend the night or whatever in like a haunted house. Oh boy. But I did imagine that there would be like a, I imagine that's like a very common occurrence. So I put a little fence there. And then I'm just going through and getting those same flowers that we used on the inside. And then we will be moving on. I'm not sure where we go next. We are apparently putting mushrooms around now, so that is fun. Um, and then let's see. So we'll get the mushrooms, and then I think we move inside, because I deleted everything. So there's that going to be that little path, and then I don't know if I end up getting, yeah, and then we get the trees. So we end up having quite a few trees, and I tried to make it look like the trees were blending into the background. So there's some big trees and they've got a pretty big footprint, but they actually fit on the edge of the lot. Like you don't need to keep them all on the same all on the lot, which makes it a lot easier to make it look like the forest continues onto the lot, which is really nice because I feel like a lot of the time the Sims lots feel kind of isolated from each other. So we have that there, and then I'm going through and I'm putting in some animal things because in this world, on this lot, it would definitely be very full of animals. Like squirrels and rabbits and birds all live in here. There's probably raccoons in the attic. I mean, the whole thing. So then we've got some buckets. I did imagine that those buckets were for the cows that once lived here. The cows probably left, to be completely honest. So we have that. And then I am getting some um, trash out the front here because I imagined all of this was broken. So all of those TVs are broken, this refrigerator, the oven, the whole thing. Um, and then we will be getting like bags of trash and stuff, because this is like maybe somebody originally, like in the beginning of its early days of being abandoned. Maybe somebody came in and tried to renovate it and they put stuff on the curb and then they gave up or something, I don't know. Um and so now there's just like trash out the front. Um and we are getting trash all over this balcony because I feel like it's sort of obligatory, like you're gonna have an abandoned place that people will like come to. People are not going to pick up after themselves. They have no sense of like care for themselves. Um, so we have that, and then I really wanted to have the other staircase, the one from Snowy Escape that had like the worn sort of, I imagined it was stained and it had just been used so much that parts of the staining was coming off. I don't know if that's necessarily how staining works. I've never actually stained anything, but that's okay. Um it's The Sims. I can say whatever it is. It can be whatever I want. So we have that, and then we are finally moving inside, And I am making everything look a little bit more cohesive, because when I came in, it was something. Um, and then we have the kitchen. It is really ugly in there. It sort of feels like it should have been renovated, and it feels like it was renovated at some point, but you're not really sure when, and it definitely ain't renovated now. Um, so we have um so the kitchen, yeah, the kitchen is ugly, and then we are getting the front door. I don't remember what front door I end up going with. I think they're all really ugly, but I think I end up going with that one that we have there. And these everything in this house is just, it's special, shall we say. It is special. So we have the windows. I'm just going around and placing those, and we will be getting some other windows. Well, I guess maybe not. We're getting the trim on the outside. These are just the get together columns. Um, and so that it can look like at one point everything was white. At one point everything was clean. But now it is not clean. Now it is not cared for. Now it is not white. So we have all of that. And I was going through debug for eco lifestyle because I honestly kind of liked the concept of using like the not functional like debug versions of everything. But then I was like, no, it deserves to be at least functional. So we end up getting like fake stuff in most of the areas. And then we have like real beds, like these beds can totally be real. And then like your Sims can use them. We've got the downstairs bathroom attached to the primary bedroom that is fully functional. Um, we end up replacing the refrigerator so that it is functional. Just little things like that. And I love the concept of this house. I would love to renovate it into like a real house, you know? Not that this isn't a real house now, but it definitely feels kind of dirty. It feels abandoned, which is good because that was the goal, but I would love to restore this house into the modern day, you know? So we can actually like you could actually live here if you wanted to. I mean, you could live here now, but I don't know that I would really recommend it. There's not really a point, if you will, because in my head, none of this stuff works, you know? Like this house, I don't know when it was built. But it definitely was not renovated within the past 20 years. Um, so it's kind of ugly in here. And I end up switching out the floors. And I get, so we end up switching out the stairs and we end up getting a basement and we get, and I don't add to the basement because maybe the people who live here don't realize there's a basement. I don't know. I don't really care. So there is a basement, but I don't think that I end up furnishing it too much. Um, and so we are fighting with the stairs right now. So just don't mind that. But we end up getting this wall so your Sims cannot see into the downstairs. And I'm not really sure why this happens, but the bottom um step of these stairs looks different than every other step, and it was bothering me, which is kind of inconvenient. But we have that in the living room. So you walk in and then there's the stairs behind the wall, and we have two bathrooms downstairs and one bedroom. So we have a hall bath right off the entryway, and then we have a primary bathroom off of the primary bedroom. We end up getting a couch, and this couch actually got some more colors to it recently. I did notice that this chair did not get a matching color to the couch color that I'm using right now, but that's okay. We are used to that. So like I said, I will be switching out the floor. We are going around and putting in some walls just because I did imagine that this house at some point was used. And so there might have been people living down here, and that's kind of fun to think about. Like, now nobody lives here, and now we can't, like, it's not gonna be used very often, but at some point it was. Um, which would, if we go along with the storyline that like at one point somebody may have like bought this house in the early stages of its being abandoned and then gave up on it, like that would explain why there's less furniture. That would explain why the floorboards, I switched to this one. It kind of looks like subflooring in my opinion. Why this is exposed. It's kind of ugly to be completely honest, but why that's exposed. It would explain why like it would explain why there's no furniture. It would explain a lot of things. Because, it's like, well, at some point somebody tried with this house and they just gave up on it, which is kind of sad. I feel like this house deserves a lot more than it got. But we are doing the upstairs now, and up here is special. We have a doll room, and you might be thinking like, "Oh yeah, that's like kind of creepy, but totally normal." No, you don't understand. We have a single doll, and she is in the middle of the room, surrounded by mirrors, like multi like that like a dozen, 2 dozen mirrors she is surrounded by. There are multiple layers to the point where the mirrors don't even work fully all the time. You'll notice that some of them are blue sometimes. Yeah, that just gets worse as we go down the line. There will always be a blue mirror until you delete the mirrors. So, yeah. And also, you cannot get into this room. So, somebody either lived and died in this room or they put all the mirrors in and then swiggled their way through the door. I'm not sure, but um they somebody did this and then they are no longer here. So, that's really fascinating. We are getting all of the mirrors changed to different colors, so it looks like there are more mirrors of different varieties than there are, because The Sims has way too many mirrors and surprisingly not enough mirrors. We also have a lot of candles went into this circle. I yeah, I don't know what to make of that. It sort of looks like I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, but it is not sane. And then we have this like chalk circle, and I'm not sure if that's to keep the demons in or to keep the demons out. But it is what it is. And then I go in and we put in a bunch of tables to cover it all up because when you enter the house, they do not want you to see. And we can't really add like visible ceilings, you know? So I this was the solution that I had. Hey, at least there's no sacrificing baby Yoda. So we've got that going for us. And I did finish placing those tables so you cannot see when you come in. And we are just going through because I did imagine that these bathrooms at some point were fully functional. So I do go through and put all of that in. And then we are just getting that terrain paint. Um, and I honestly feel like the terrain paint just finishes it all, you know? Um, So we go through and there's like a path and we get a lot of dirt everywhere because it makes the whole thing feel so much more like it belongs, you know? I feel like when you have like no terrain paint, sometimes it's okay, but other times it's like, wow, I feel like this stuff doesn't like it's not attached, you know? So we have all of that. And then we're just going through and adding in the terrain paint and some last minute finishing touches. So if you liked this, if you would like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot. And I completely forgot about this part. Um, yeah, I cannot justify, but if you like this, if you would like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot. And I will see all of you next time. Bye.